Recording started and yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Mike's here. So this video here is going to be very different than any other videos that which you guys want to see. So for this video here, I will still continue reading chapter for the song, the most popular song thing for that horror bands and all kinds of other stuff. That your favorite song right there, and this their favorite. That your favorite song, your favorite lyric of it. It's like you probably sing this like the. Because I'm not gonna mention any songs right now. So I'll be doing the Go Against Yourself challenge because I'm gonna be reading fan fictions with this one, and I'm about to give you some of the rules about Go Against Yourself. So this challenge here is made by Anime Man, and I tried that. I wanted to look at the videos, and I tried it, and it's really terrible. And it's really funny too. So yeah, and I have the rules right here for my Go Against Self. So why not? Let me try it. So there will be no swearing in this video. So I try and intend to, but I will not. Okay. There will be no sarcasm right here because I'm always gonna be sarcastic, and I don't want to be sarcastic as much as possible. So I have to be like onto that thing and get into that emotion. There will be no editing this video, so whatever this video right here is stays where it is and ready to upload. And I'm not mentioning the song or artist or lyrics or anything. I could sing what I want. I could sing though, but I'm not gonna mentioning. I could sing, I could hum, but I can't mention the song, artist, lyrics. I can allow sing or humming because why not? So let's start to read this chapter 9 right here. And in chapter 9 is titled Smile. So here you go. Chapter 9. Let me sip the drink of this beverage. Now we're sponsored. Okay. Alright, here we go. Chapter 9. Pidge, what am I going to do? He wants, flopping his arms a little for added effect. He is lying on their living room floor, arms sprawled out on either side of him, and feet propped up on the coffee table. You're going to man up, they say, sad and bored. He doesn't blame them. He's been whining like this for a while now. He just can't stop. It's on his mind, so he's going to talk about it endlessly. Luckily, his friends are used to him by now. Besides, he listens to Honk when he talks about his new recipes or inventions, and he listens to Pitch when they're excited about all their tech mumbo jumbo or ranting about their gratitude classes. At least they can do it listening and land, and his world is a confusing mess. That's what friends are for. You hate that phrase. Pitch make a sound that sounds like a lot like "Yup" as they toss a grape at him from their spot on the couch. And the sound lands up in time to see the grape and shifts his head just a little to catch it easily in his mouth. He's a grape catching champ. You're right. I do, they say idly, eating their own grape as they idly scroll through their phone, both legs pulled up onto the couch as they nest in the corner. But in this case, I'm using the word man in reference to its use as a short for mankind and the implication of being an adult. What's the difference? I'm not telling you to be a man. I'm telling you how to grow up and don't be a child. I'm not a child, he whines, limbs flopping, their earnest and raised brow, and a barely contained upturn of their lips. Could have fooled me, surrounded by sass. You chose this life. This life chose me. Midge made a non-committal grunt and heaves another grape his way. He ships to catch it, but this one bounces off his cheek and rolls across the floor. He snorts and grasps for it, blowing it up before popping it in his mouth. Your aim sucks. You suck. I know, bitch. That's my problem. So can we get back to the whole what should I do thing? I already told you. Tell me to man up isn't an answer, bitch. Bitch snores. What I mean, Lance, is that you're an adult. He's an adult. Adults kiss people. Adults at clubs kiss people. Adult friends sometimes kiss each other. It doesn't have to mean anything if you don't want it to mean anything. They pause, looking up for their phone to gaze at him hourly. Both eyebrows raised. Do you want it to mean something? No, he snaps, propping himself on his elbows to glide pitch. Then again, yes, maybe he doesn't know. At this point, he's not really sure. It's only been 5 days since club, and he's still messed about the whole thing. Easiest answer to go with is no. No, he doesn't want it to mean anything. He doesn't want to ruin their budding friendship. He doesn't want it to ruin their budding partnership. He doesn't want to ruin his chance at regionals. He's not throwing away this chance. He's never throwing away a chance to further his career. Never again. And he's just not sure if he wants anything as serious as a relationship. Oh God, a relationship. Who was talking about relationships? It was just a kiss at a club, a kiss in the heat of the moment when they were both drunk and dancing, and it felt right at the time. Paige is right. It doesn't have to mean anything. Still, he can't stop thinking about he had liked it. Unfortunately, those thoughts are being overlapped with knowledge that the whole kiss thing might have ruined his relationship with Keith. They haven't exactly talked about it. Lance can't quite get up the courage to. He's much rather pretend like it never happened, like it was just a thing that happened in a dark club for like 2 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe like 30. But who was counting? And Keith didn't really seem like he was willing to bring it up either. Unfortunately, the whole pretend like it never happened thing is making things really, really awkward. They had a practice room reserved on Monday, but Keith texted him and said he was asked to pick up a shift at work. Soon won't make it. Lance isn't sure if he believes that or if it was an excuse to give each other space. But at the time, he wasn't exactly complaining. He didn't think he was ready to see Keith alone in a room by themselves. Unfortunately, that meant the first time he saw Keith since the kiss was at the regular Wednesday lesson of Aurora. Neither of them backed out of that one, and at least on his side. It was entirely because of his fear of disappointing them. He took some solace in the fact that Keith seemed just as awkward as he felt. Luckily, Cheryl and Laura seemed to read the atmosphere that then focused more on lips and actual dance moves instead of more intimate things. He was grateful for that. He was also grateful for the fact that they both looked extremely perplexed at the tense atmosphere between him and Keith, leading him to the conclusion that Cheryl doesn't know he kissed his brother. Thank God. Paige on the other hand knows, seeing as they were the one who found them making out on the dance floor, and because they're the only one that knows, they get to judge the last place. I don't, Lance insists when Paige just keeps staring at him blankly. He throws his hands up in the air for emphasis. I don't want to mean anything. It was just a kiss. I'm an adult. I can kiss people at clubs, Kevin said off blinking. Oh, nice advice, Paige. That's okay, I think. I can't. Oh. Nice advice, Paige. Paige, let's go into a small spot. They look back down their phone. But sounds great. Oh. No problem. Lance chased it and shoved it in his mouth. So what's the problem then? He flopped it back to the floor. The problem is it's awkward. I think I messed up. Didn't you say Keith was the one who kissed you? Yes, but... He groans loudly, rubbing his hands down his face and mumbles through his fingers. But I don't really remember who started it. We were just kissing? So, I don't really see the problem. Another great throw. Another mouth catch. Score another point for Lance. The problem is it's awkward, he gasped, managing to inhale his half-chewed grape. He abruptly rolls onto his side, propping himself up on the elbow as he cups and pounds his chest. Pidge, he says when he recovers, looking at them with wide, horrified eyes. What if he's straight? What if he's being awkward with me because he's straight, and I totally forced a dude kiss on him? I mean, I kind of assumed that I made him comfortable, but what if I made him doubtfully uncomfortable? Oh my god! Pidge groans, rolling their eyes so hard that their whole head gets into it. They sit up a little straighter and reach up a hand, swatting up the wall until they hit the edge of the picture frame hanging above the couch. Once they make contact, they swat a little harder, knocking the corner enough to send the whole frame askew. He's kind of surprised it just didn't fall off the wall, slouching back into the couch and looking at their phone. Pidge vaguely waves his hand, their handiwork. Lance, is that picture straight? Lance cocks an eyebrow, staring at them curiously. No. Pidge, you just knocked it. Exactly, they say, cutting him off. Neither is Keith. Lance feels his entire face go slack, eyebrows racing to his hairline, as his mouth falls open to a small circle of realization. The strange heat rises up his neck, and his chest bursts with something. Oh, yeah, I doubt he isn't comfortable because you're a dude. Well, he shifts, rubbing the back of his neck and looking away. That doesn't change the fact that he is uncomfortable around me. Lance, Pidge says, somehow turning his name to his side. Has it occurred to you that the room he's awkward about might be because you're awkward about it? They look at him with a flat stare. He opens his mouth to respond. Then his brows furrow, and he snaps it shut. Yeah, didn't think so. Look, if it really doesn't mean anything, then act like it doesn't mean anything. If you act on edge around him all the time, he's going to think you hate him or something. I don't. Then treat him normally and stop being a big baby about this whole thing. Not a baby, he grumbles, crossing his arms over his chest, lying back and forth, puffing out his cheeks as he turns his head to the side. Treat him normally, huh? He can do that. Treat Keith like normal. Keith will relax, and which will make Lance relax, and then they can actually be normal again. Then they can find a song, choreograph a routine, go into regionals, and make names for themselves. Most importantly, stay friends, because Lance likes having Keith as a friend. He's a cool dude, not that he'll ever tell Keith that. But treat him normally? Yeah, Lance can do that. So, do you think he's hot? Lance isn't eating great at the moment, but that doesn't stop him from choking on air. He props himself up again. What? Paige is looking at him, amusement in their small smile with both eyebrows raised. Keith, do you think he's hot? Lance snorts and rolls his eyes, leaning more on one elbow to wave his other hand vaguely in the air. I think all my friends are hot. I'm friends with really... Okay, wait, go back there. I think all my friends are hot. I'm friends with some really pretty people. Their smile quirks a fraction wider. I mean it. Look, Hunk. He's a gorgeous chunk of man. Gorgeous and beautiful inside and out. And do I really need to bring up Sharon and Laura? I mean, they pretty much hold the top spots for most beautiful people. And Karan? I mean, yeah, he's the oldest of us. But he pretty much holds the spot for the most handsome boys. And you... He glances and points a finger at them. Their smile drops, eyes narrowing. Don't you dare. They whisper. You, he repeats, jerking his finger more for emphasis as he speaks in a low, threatening voice. Are adorable. Lance, their voices all warning. I mean it, Pidge. You're the cutest human on the entire planet. He cuts himself off with a loud yell as right to Pidge tosses their phone and grades ball aside and launches themselves at him. He tries to scramble backwards, but it's too late. They slide across the coffee table and land on top of him, scrambling across him. He screamed, trying to push them off, but they're small and slippery as they struggle to coil their body around him and get him onto a headlock. You take that back. Never! Lance isn't sure how long they spend rolling around on the floor. By the time Han gets home, he's exhausted, sweating, sore, and has several bite and claw marks because Pidge bites dirty, like the little troll they are. Hunk, save me! SOS! Life alert! Lance calls a second and hears the door open. Much to his dismay, Hunk takes his time closing the door, kicking off his shoes, and setting some grocery bags in the kitchen before heading to the living room. When he does, he stops and stares. Fish has their legs locked on his ribcage, squeezing the life out of him, and their arms putting him in a headlock. He has one hand wrapped around their arm, trying to pull it off his neck, and his other hand is behind him, fingers curled to their hair. He is lying on top of them, using his superior weight to flip on top of them and hoping he can get them to let go by crushing their lungs. But apparently they made out of tougher stuff, like pure determination, stubbornness, and rage, compact into one tiny human. What's going on? Hunk asks, not beginning moves to come to this rescue. I called them cute, and now they're trying to kill me, he screeches, nails dug into the arm. They retaliate and bite on his shoulder. Yips, ow! They're biting me, Hunk. Take that back. No. Aw, but Pitch is cute. Pitch reaches, and the suddenness of it causes Lance to steal. The moment only lasts a second before Pitch has detached itself from him, wiggles out from under him, and launches themselves at Hunk. Poor guy stares, wide-eyed as Pitch scrambles toward him from all fours, trying to get their feet under them. He throws up his head and scrambles back several steps. Lance uses his newfound freedom to launch himself after them, wrapping them up together in his longer limbs and bringing them back to the floor. They claw the carpet, try to get away from him, but it gets them nowhere. I got you, Hunk, Lance says, and Hunk sighs, entire body relaxing. Thanks, buddy, across in front of Pitch. But really, Pitch, you're adorable, he says, reaching out to ruffle their hair. They make an odd growling and swipe at him. There is the loud sound of flesh slapping flesh, followed up by Hunk's help, and the big guy suddenly craning his hand to his chest. Take it back! They shout. Accept it! Lance stops louder. No! Yes! Pitch thrashes wildly, but Lance uses his weight and position to his advantage to keep them pinned. They finally groan loudly, entire body going slack, arms stretched out in front of them as they bury their face into the carpet. You guys are the worst! Hunk pats their head. We love you too! Hunk sighs, letting his body go lax, which only causes Rush to Pitch a little more, and they let a grunt of annoyance. So, not that I'm particularly surprised to come home and find you guys like this, but what started this time? Hunk asks. Pitch lifts a hand, gesturing at Lance with a thumb over his shoulder. I asked Lance if he thinks Keith is hot, and he made up that thing cover by saying all his friends are hot. Lance lets him go, pushing himself to his knees and throwing up his arms in the air. They are, and I have very attractive friends, Hunk nods sagely, but Pitch just nods, lifting themselves up onto their elbows and took a look at Lance, mischievous glint in their eyes as they smile sweetly. So, you do think he's pretty? Lance goes to them. Yeah, by default, because all my friends are pretty. But Keith is extra pretty, right? No. Uh-huh. But you don't go around kissing all of us. Hunk gapes at them, wide eyes snapping to Lance. You kiss Keith? Lance lets a Pitch, heat rising in his cheeks under the weight of Hunk's gaze. Pitch! They smile innocently. What? It's true. Don't go around kissing me or... Lance's lips curl to a smirk, and Pitch's eyes widen, their own smile fading. They scramble away from him. Lance! No! And he slowly falls forward, eyes never leaving Pitch as he smiles with the same false innocence as he had used on him. Pitch! Come here! He sings songs. They scramble away from him. Oh, heck no! Pitch, get back here! He chases them around the apartment, over the couch several times, around the dining room table. He thinks he corners them in the kitchen for a moment before they scramble over the bar counter and escape into the dining room before springing to their room. They slam the door behind him. Pitch! He stops, running after him, only to be grabbed by Hunk. Okay, but I'd like to backtrack for a moment and get back to you, Kiss Keith. Lance groans loudly and flops face down the couch. He can hear Pitch laughing from their room. 30 minutes later, Lance has explained the whole situation to Hunk. But a few woe is me laments for good measure. Hunk is sitting on the couch, listening and nodding when appropriate. Lance is laid with his head on Hunk's lap, twisted so his legs could hang over the back of the couch. Pitch has crawled out the air layer and taken his seat on the other side of Hunk, leaning up against his arm and playing on their phone while occasionally adding commentary. Whoa, Hunk says when he's done, and Lance nothing to say for that. So he just nods. Whoa is right. So, what are you gonna do about it? He shrugs, tilting his head to look crossed on. It didn't mean anything, and I don't want it to mean anything. So, I'm going to be an adult and act normal around him. Pitch snorts. Great deal, Lance, they say dryly. Wonder where you came up with that. I'm filled with great plans, he said, reaching a hand back to flick them in the ear. Okay, but you're not going to be like awkward tonight, are you? Lance turns suspicion and glares at Hunk. What's that supposed to mean? Hunk looks up, rubbing the back of his neck. It means you're, you, and with Keith coming over tonight. I don't want it to be awkward. What it would be awkward? I just told you I was going to treat him normally. He means he doesn't want to deal with your unresolved sexual tension. Bitch cuts in a matter of fact. There's nothing to resolve. We're just friends. They both give him blank stares and they glance at me. I'm serious. Just friends. And I'll be totally normal. You'll see. No awkwardness, no tension. I'll be chill. Closing the eyes. I got this. Pitch snorts and Hunk hums, though it sounds good to him. As long as someone doesn't bring it up, everything will be fine. He tries me, licking Pitches again. They ill swat his hand away. I won't say anything, they grumble. Hunk, Lance says warningly, narrowing his eyes up at his best friend. Hunk puts his hands up in the air in a defensive gesture. My lips are sealed, buddy. Then he mimes the gesture. Good. Nuts. Crossing his arms over the chest. It's quiet for a moment, and then he says, besides, no matter what happens to me and Keith, there's no way we can be as bad as Sharon and Laura. Right. Hunk says at the same time, Bitch groans. Oh my god, I know. Lance laughs, feeling lighter already now that the focus is off of him. Seriously though, how long they have been dancing around each other? Pun intended? Hunk asks. Totally intended. Nice. They high-five and Pitch groans. Puns aside, it has been way, way too long. I don't even remember Shiro for his crush on Laura. Hunk raised an eyebrow. Have you known Shiro for most of your life? Pitch drones their arms up in the air. Exactly. At first it was funny, but now it's just pathetic. One of these days, Lance says wistfully. Pitch snorts. Yeah, I'll be old and gray before that happens. Pitch gonna be you are as Shiro. Well, that kind of explains it. It's like an aftermath of what's happening. He's trying to be acting an adult, and he wants to keep into that little emphasizing thing on that kiss, because that's what happens when you see in last night when you see me reading the chapter of it, and everything goes into emotion for Lance. It's just now a hallucination on Lance. It was really, really quite getting into it. So you might have seen that there is a lot of the ways that there are so many things that you could do, but I might be as well happy for it, so yay. But they had to be trying as much as normal, try to be keeping the mantra and not telling anybody on what they're going to do. Oh, never mind. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally voicemail for this one. I can't say Bixby because it's my phone. It's my phone, dude. You can't see it's my phone. Alright, anyways, let's continue. Let me just calm down right here. Just drink the water here. Okay, let's go. If there's one thing in life that Keith has never been very good at it, it's resisting his impulses. He's always just been a little too impulsive, acting on reflexes and considering the consequences later when he's forced to face them. Well, now he's forced to face them as they present themselves in the form of an extremely awkward Lance and an entirely too uncomfortable atmosphere. When he had kissed Lance, he hadn't been thinking about how it would affect their friendship. He hadn't been thinking about how it would affect their dancing partnership. He didn't think about how it would affect them all. He hadn't been thinking at all. All he had known was the fact that Lance was sad and distracted and making these pitiful faces that tug hard at his heart. All he had known was that those faces faded when Lance focused on him. All he knew was that he was making Lance smile again. And all he wanted at the time was for Lance to smile. They had been so close, and the atmosphere had been so intimate, and had just felt right. So he had kissed him. Well, sorry. He had initiated the idea, he's pretty sure. But he can't quite remember who actually kissed who first. They were just suddenly kissing each other. It was a short kiss. Only like 5 seconds, maybe 15, maybe half a minute. Who's counting? They always keep like the same thing. Yeah, for Lance. All he knows is that it ended too abruptly when Pitch came hurling through the crowd that was sure hot on their trail. That he and Lance didn't get intimate again that night. That he somehow ended up with a gold bracelet on his wrist, if only to make Lance smile again. That he got home and passed out fully clothed. That he woke up the next day with a pounding headache and feeling gross all over. That he kept repeating that night, the kiss and everything that led up to it over and over again in his mind, while he lay in his bed, suffering. That he had liked it. He didn't regret what he had done, but he was starting to wish Lance hadn't remembered. It'll be a lot easier to pretend like it hadn't happened to let it drift away, like a briefly remembered dream. As he sits astride his bike, gazing up the pitch in Hunk's apartment complex with growing apprehension, he really hopes they can get back to normal soon. He misses normal. He misses hanging out with Lance without all the tension. He misses seeing him smile genuinely. He misses as casual touches that don't be envy. He misses the way Lance's eyes spark with a challenge or sparkle in his haste. He misses the playful spots. Heck, he even missed the cocky smirks. Anything is better when Lance that treats him like he's afraid he'll blow up at any moment. It's just he wants Lance back. And as much as he had enjoyed that kiss, as much as he had just felt right, he's starting to wish he had more self-control. Will he do it again? He's not sure. He wants to say no. He really doesn't want to ruin this friendship or partnership or make things any more awkward than they already are. But at the same time, if the opportunity presented itself, he's not sure he could say no. Does he want a relationship? Heck no. Does he like kissing Lance? Unfortunately, yes. Gosh darn, he hates feelings. Too much problematic. He didn't sign up for this. Infatuation is one thing. He can get over infatuation. He's done plenty of times before. Think guy's attractive? Fine. Give it a few weeks and fade it to nothing. Unfortunately for him, making out with the subject of that infatuation isn't exactly helping to keep those feelings from reaching the crush zone. That, unfortunately, hasn't stopped him from playing the kiss over and over again. Every time he finds himself with a free moment. When he's trying to sleep, when he's trying to work, when he's driving. And he just really wants the thing to calm down again. Which would be easier if it wasn't so awkward. And Lance isn't so awkward that it didn't make him even more awkward. He spends approximately 3 minutes just sitting on his bike and staring out at the apartment. Wonder if he should just dip out before his phone buzzes. Keith, I can see you out there. Now, get up here. I'm hungry. And Hunk won't let us eat before you get here. He sighs, shoving his phone back in his pocket. Guess there's no getting out of it now. Hunk and Pinch had invited him to hang out last week, before the whole club thing happened. It would look weird if he called on them now. Besides, he finds if he wants the kiss to have meant nothing, he's got to act like it meant nothing, right? Right. And that's how I find himself outside the. Whoops. Well, that's can't edit that. And that's how I find himself outside the door of the pitch in Hunt's apartment, running his fingers through his hair and sighing to himself before lifting hands to knock. The door swings open before his knuckles can't even make contact, and he finds himself face to face with Lance. Keith, he says, and a little too loud, and Keith can't stop the flinch. Buddy, pal, Frano, Romeo, Romeo, how you doing? He says with strange enthusiasm. Voice pitched a little too high. Holding the door open wide with one hand, he rests his other forearm against the door frame and leans into it. He smiles, and the smile that Keith knows is supposed to be charming, but honestly, just a little too tight. It doesn't reach his eyes. He says intelligently. Hand hang awkwardly in the air for a moment before letting it drop. He shoves his hands in his pockets to keep from pitching. I was invited over? Great. Off to a wonderful start. Right, Lance lifted his hand off the door to point a finger gun at him. He tops it with a wink. But the overall effect looks so much like a cringe that Keith is just left staring. He doesn't know how to deal with this. He is even weirder than normal. This is a new level of awkward that he hasn't prepared for. I knew that, he continues, laughing in a way that's so strange that it's painful to hear. He trails off, and the two are left just staring at each other. So, he stares, then clearing his throat, letting the hands around the back of his neck. Are you going to let me in? Lance blinks once, twice, his smile falls, and then his hand back on the door, shutting it a fraction. What's the password? Keith blinks. What? Lance rolls his eyes, and the smile that curves his lips looks like 100 times more natural. I said, password, Keith. What's the password? Keith's lips pressed to the field line, eyes narrow a fraction as his hand to his side. Hitch didn't say anything more, but the door's closing, Keith, Lance sings, stepping back and slowly starts to shut the door. Lance, nope. Sorry, that's not it. The door nearly closed when Keith's hand shouts out to stop it. Lance! Password, Keith. Lance! Yeesh, you're terrible at this. Okay, repeat after me. Lance is the greatest. No. Oh look, the door is slipping. He tries to shove the door open, but Lance leans in from the other side, using the rest of his body to block the open space so he can slip in. He's grinning that eating grin, and Keith wonders why he missed that stupid grin. He grits his teeth. Lance, let me in. Say the words, Keith. No. Yes. He looks at him, brows pinch and lips pursed to a small frown. But how they're both leaning against the door. They're surprisingly close. He tries not to think about that as he holds eye contact and mumbles a reluctant. Lance is the greatest. He tries to make his voice as dry and deadpan as he can, but there's this strange flutter in his stomach. At those words that he doesn't really want to analyze too much. Lance's grin drops almost immediately, face freezing in an almost comical way, and Keith thinks there might be a blush threatening his cheeks. But before he can really tell, Lance has stepped away from the door and Keith is falling through. His eyes widen as he stumbles into the entranceway, throwing a glare over his shoulder as he straightens. Sorry, Lance mumbles, closing the door, and then he's slipping past it, giving an oddly wide berth as he hurries past the kitchen into the living room. Keith's here. We know, Lance, Paige rumbles. Hey, Keith, Hunk says. Smile wide and warm as Keith passes the kitchen entrance. Keith smiles back and smells his hair. Hey, Hunk. You need a hand? Hunk slurs a short laugh. No, that's Shiro. It takes Keith a moment to realize what he meant, and when he does, he rolls his eyes. He leans against the wall at the entrance to the kitchen, calling his arms over his chest and dead hands. Screw off. Hunk jerks a little and startled and stares at him with wide eyes. Mouth agape. Keith can feel a small smile tugging the corner of his lips. Hunk must see it, too, because his look of startled alarm shifts to surprise. Oh my god, he moves. Keith, did you just... Keith smiled one eyebrow going up. Hungers. Keith, you make a joke. Must be... Guys... Oh, sorry. Whoa, what is it? Keith, you just make a joke. Guys, Keith made a joke. I've told you guys he's secretly funny, Lance calls out in the living room. He just hides it under all that emo. Almost like humor is a last resort. Keith doesn't see his face now that he's wearing that eating grin. Oh, good one, Lance, Hunk laughs. He can hear his groan mingling with his own before he hears their voice. I'm way too hungry for this. Can we please eat now? I don't have to resort to eating Lance. He's all skin and bone. Excuse. This is all muscle. Lean, sculpted muscle. His nods. Yeah, sure it is. String bean. Hunk snorts Keith within his razzle for gesturing to the place and food he has set up on the counter. Mind helping me carrying this out before they kill each other? He raised an eyebrow. Would that really be such a bad thing? Hunk said such a thoughtful. As amusing as it would be to watch. I don't want to have to pay rent alone. He hums. Fair enough. Dinner that night consisted of one of the most intense look not just Keith had ever seen. They brought out 2 trays of it, setting them on the coffee table. Everyone had their own plates and they picked what they wanted. There was so much that Keith gave in and used a fork along with Hunk. Lance and Pitch, however, went barehanded, calling Hunk and Keith weak before exchanging a very messy high five. While they ate, they watched Shrek. When Keith questioned it, Pitch whispered a quiet "don't" before Lance was set off in a speech that sounded half prepared and half like he was pulling it out of his butt. Something about true fairy tale romance, a thrilling saga of character growth and ending with. And come on, who wouldn't want to be cradled in those big green org hands? At that, Pitch, Hunk, and Keith all suddenly raised hands. It's not too bad. And after Keith finished eating, he settled back into the couch, feeling far too stuffed to move. Letters seemed to echo that sentiment. Lance, he notices, managed to sit as far away from him as possible. He tries not to let that get to him. All in all, Lance isn't as awkward as he was expected, but Keith feels like he's on a never-ending roller coaster. One moment, Lance is fine and joking on him like normal. The next, he won't make eye contact. One, he's grinning. The next, his mouth is too tense and won't reach his eyes. One moment, he's teasing Keith, and the next, he won't even talk to him. One moment, they're fine and normal, and next, everything is awkward. And when he's not avoiding him altogether, he picks a Keith in a way that's reminiscent of when they first met, and it hurts. He always laughs it off like he doesn't realize he's being antagonistic. But Keith hates it. It's weird, it's hectic, and Keith is tired of it. It's pretty sure Paige and Hunk feel the tension too, because they kept sending Lance looks whenever he gets weird and apologetic smiles to Keith. Keith is really hopes they don't know why Lance is being so weird. When Robin Hood comes on screen, Lance leaps up and claims the open space in the living room to do his own theatrical redemption of the song. Hunk stays on the couch, but does the Merry Men vocals for him, complete with clapping hands and an arrayed expression. Pidge sits next to him, phone in her hand, to record them both. Keith isn't sure how they got it ready so fast, but he's supposed to be with these two a lot keeps them on their toes. As soon as Lance and Hunk realize Pidge is recording, they start performing to the camera. Pidge keeps their free hand clapped over their mouth to stifle their giggles. Keith hasn't seen this movie in years. He hasn't thought about it in years. But that doesn't change the fact that he and Shiro used to watch it when they were kids. Because of that, he knows exactly how a Hood song ends. Lance has been avoiding looking at him for nearly 20 minutes, even while performing. And now his attention is on Pidge and their phone, so he doesn't notice when Keith slips off the couch, one of the couch pillows in hand. Keith slowly creeps around the coffee table and positions himself just behind Lance's peripheral vision. Not that he needs to bother. Lance is so wrapped up in his performance and interacting with Hunk and Pitch to entertain him. Pitch, however, does see him. He sees it in the way their eyes flicker to him briefly, in the way their lips curl into a little higher. Then Hood's song comes to an end, and lands a fork in it, and the head scoop up to a bitch while holding out the long last note. And then right when Fiona cuts off Hood's song with a kick, Keith slaps Lance on the inside of the head with a pillow. Lance goes down a startled yelp, and Pitch bursts out laughing, followed shortly after by Hunk. He grins down at Lance, and he doesn't lose it until Lance looks up at him, pillow clutched in his hands, expression torn between offended and scowling pop. Then Keith is gone. He bends the waist, eyes whizzing shut as lighter bubbles out of him. One arm wraps around his middle, but the other has to rest against his knee to keep himself from falling over. He feels moisture gathering at the corners of his eyes. Then there is suddenly a pillow hitting him in the face. His other chokes off as he straightens, but he barely manages to toss the pillow away before Lance tackles him. They both go down. Lance on top, scrambling to pin him. Keith pushing at him, his face, his shoulders, shoving his legs on his own. Lance is slippery and all limbs, and every time Keith pushes at him, he bends to avoid the actual shove. Like a cat. Keith finally gets a leg around her and manages to flip the positions, but Lance doesn't stay down for long. Every time he thinks he's got an advantage, Lance flips it on him. Luckily, he's able to do the same. Unfortunately, that leads to neither of them winning, and mostly just rolling around on the floor in a fit of chaotic lips, grunts, and half-muttered insults. Distantly, he realizes that if they keep this up, one of them is going to end up getting hurt. At the least, they're going to end up dislocating a shoulder, or spraining a wrist, or knocking an ankle out of alignment. You can hear Pitch and Hunk talking in the background, but he can't focus on them with Lance so close, growling insults and complaining in his ear. Keith has taken martial arts for years, and he goes to the gym regularly. And he thinks all of that combined with dancing gives him a pretty good understanding of his body and how to use to his advantage. All of that means nothing when he's severely underestimated. Lance will just be squirrely. When Lance has managed to get him pinned for nearly 5 minutes, and now the Keith struggles to do him any good, he finally huffs in annoyance and lets his body go slack. It takes another 30 seconds before Lance believes him. He sits back on Keith's thighs, straightening his hips. He puts his hands on Keith's shoulders to prop himself up as he grins down at him, a victorious twinkle in his eyes. "Pin ya!" Keith huffs again, blowing his bangs out of his eyes, and scowls at Lance. "Good job, Mr. Charlie. Now, can you get off me?" "Hold on, I'm just basking in my victory," he says, grin sharply into his work. Keith just glares at him. "Oh man, I'm so glad I got that on bail," Pitch says, both their hands snapped up to stare at them. Pitch's phone is still aimed at them, and Keith sees Lance smile at him. He sits back, lifting his hands pose, flexing for the camera. Keith rolls his eyes while planting his feet and bucking his hips sharply upward. Lance yelps, jostled, but manages to stay where he is. He falls back down, hands landing on either side of Keith's head to catch himself, and suddenly it dawns on him just how close they are. He can see they realize they should come to Lance at nearly the same time. His eyes run in pressure. Lips parted as his jaw goes slack. A multitude of emotions passing over his face, but all gone before he can pinpoint them. Then he presses his lips together and his apple bobs as he swallows thickly. Keith smiles. "Feel dry." He blinks, and suddenly Lance off of it. Scrambling to his feet, he's taking several hurried steps backwards. "Ha! Yeah! So, anyway, I win! You suck, Keith," he babbles, voice pitched a little too high for his nonchalance to be realistic. That, and the fact that he refuses to look at Keith even when attempting to goad him. Whoa, boy, am I thirsty. Anyone else thirsty? I'm going to go to the kitchen. Don't worry about pausing Obi. He's been slowly taking a few steps back, but with that, he turns on his heel and scuttles out of the room, leaving the rest of them staring after him in surprised silence. Silence that's getting thicker and tenser by the second. Pitch and Hunt look like they are torn between giving him apologetic smiles and avoiding looking at him altogether. "I should take these to the kitchen," Hunt says, a little too loudly, reaching for the nacho trays, and he starts to stand. "I got it," Keith says, on his feet and swiping the trays away before he really knows what he's doing. But Hawk gets on by a pitch, elbow to the side, and Keith leaves before he can really dwell on the fact that both of them probably know. He's not really sure what he's going to say. It's not like he was planning on having this conversation, but he has had enough, and he's tired of it. He's tired of Lance being weird. He's tired of feeling like he has to be on eggshells around him. Being impulsive got him into this mess, and he hopes being impulsive will get him out of it. When he gets to the kitchen, Lance is bent over behind the fridge door. Keith steps in, drops the trays loudly into the sink, and turns around in time to see Lance jump and scream. Spinning round to stare at him eyes wide. Keith crosses out over his chest, leaning back against the counter. Lance fishes, eyes down around the kitchen. What are you, doing here? Not that you can't be here. Obviously, you can come to the kitchen if you want to. His words are quick and hurried, and he grabs a can of Coke from the fridge before closing it. I was just getting a drink, but how we go? Lance, Keith repeats, maybe a little too sharply, and Lance freezes mid-step, finally looking at him with wide eyes. Keith sighs, holding eye contact as he tries to work up the courage to say what he needs to. Giving those lips working, pressing and relaxing, tucking downward. Lance relaxes a bit, standing a little straighter, brows pinching, small frown on his lips. Keith, what are you? We kiss, he blurts. Because apparently he can't quite figure out what to say. He says it bluntly. He's making hard eye contact with Lance. So he sees one moment Lance freezes, mouth snapping shut. Eyes widening even as his brows furrow. Even shoulders rise in his stance. Keith has started to associate with him being defensive. Panic in his eyes is all too clear, so Keith goes on before he bolts from the room. We kissed, he repeats, a voice a lot softer, a lot kinder. Words turn off at the side. It feels good to get that out in the open. Lance's eyes are intense, and Keith finds the emotion then across them to be too much and too overwhelming, until his own gaze drips down to the floor. His fingers tighten around his upper arms, jaw clenching perplexity. Yeah, we did, he finally says. Voice just as Keith had been. When Keith looks up, Lance is looking to the side, hand rubbing the back of his neck. We did have. Did you hate me? What? Lance's gaze snaps to his hips, eyes wide and mouth hanging open. Keith holds his gaze, refusing to look away. Do you hate me? What? No. Why would I? Then why are you acting weird? Lance gets up. What? Me? You're acting weird. Keith brows furrow. You started it. You started it. Keith sighs, lifting a hand to pinch the bridge of his nose. Eyes closing. Look. Lance. He lets his hand drop and he looks up through his bangs. Lance is watching him cautiously. The fire that had been building already gone out. He's chewing his bottom lip, and that shouldn't be as endearing as it is. Keith feels the irritation seeping from him. Can we just go back to normal? He watches Lance hand his apple bob. He licks his lips before he echoes. Normal? Yeah, normal. Back to how we were before. He waves a hand around. It happened. We kissed at a club. It's no big deal. I don't want. He got himself off. Huffing, he looks away, shifting confident. I don't want this to ruin our friendship. I just want us to be normal. He silent for a while. As the moment stretches, he feels the tension of him rising. Stiffening his shoulders and tightening his arms over his chest. Then Lance speaks. It's so casual and so calm. The tension dissolves instantly. Yeah, we can do that. He looks up. Breath stopping in his throat at the sight of Lance's mouth, and small and cocky and genuine, and so very Lance. This one has been missing. What he didn't realize, he's been needing to see. The look in his eyes is so soft and filled with emotion that Keith doesn't want to name and so focused on him that he has to consciously keep himself from fidgeting again. Well, I can do that. Think you're up to the test, Mutt? He feels his lips quirk into the small spark. What? No fancy name this time? Lance shrugs, crossing his arms over his chest and cocking his head to the side. I may or may not need to do more research, Keith starts, pushing off the counter, and starts down toward the kitchen entryway. He only gets a few steps before there's a hand on his arm, pulling him to a stop. He turns, looking from hand to Lance's face, quirking on eyebrows in question. He's searching Keith's face, chewing on his bottom lip again, but there's a spark of determination in those eyes that Keith knows all too well. He gives him chills. So, he lifts his free hand to rub the back of his neck, but stops when he lifts his soda can. He stares at her for a moment, like he forgot it was there before shaking his head and turning to look back at Keith. On their eyes catch, feels like he can't look away. I just want to ask, do you regret it? His voice is so soft, filled with so much concern and worry that Keith doesn't hesitate before answering. No, he says, voice surprisingly steady. Something about land ships. It's subtle, hard to pinpoint, but the kick puppy look evaporates like it never been there to begin with, leaving a Lance look so wholly relaxed and happy. Good, he says the next time, like he had been holding his breath. A smile curves his lips on the trail end of it. Neither do I. Keith's heart stutters in his chest. He hadn't realized how much he'd been hoping to hear those words, how much he needed to hear those words, how worried he had been if he didn't. His gut knots just as his stomach flutters, and it's such a contradicting feeling that it leaves him off kilter. Without his permission, he feels his lips curl into a small, sincere smile. You know, just a couple of bros being bros. Lances, voice light and teasing his green man. Just dudes kissing dudes. Keith's smile drops, and he groans, rolling his eyes. Don't ruin it. Keith tugs his arm around Lance's grasp and lets go easily. Okay, but Keith, buddy, in all seriousness, I need to know, he asks, face dropping to a small frown as he pins Keith with his eyes. He might have pulled off the whole serious look if it weren't for the corners of his lips twitching upward again. Am I a good kisser? He groans again, rolling his eyes as he shoves Lance's shoulder hard enough to make him stumble back kisses. I said, don't ruin it. Lance laughs as Keith leaves the kitchen, following close behind. Keith, I need to know. For science. 5 out of 7. Keith says over his shoulder, and when he glances back, he pleads to find Lance and stop and is gaping at him. Keith, did you just meme me? Keith raises an eyebrow, side of his lips curving outward to a small smirk. He tilts his head to the side. They'll never believe you. Lance gaps, hands to his chest. You're worse than Pitch. Okay, that's kind of relaxing. But in the moment when they feel like Lance and Keith had that same feeling right there, they have like the same feeling, and remembering what that little kiss looked like. Oh man, it's about to get down on the hill. Yeah, it's about to go down. Well, it's about to go down because we're gonna continue reading. So hey, cheers, guys. Yes, that is so refreshing. Okay. Paige, your phone is vibrating, Hunk says, lobbing a piece of popcorn over the coffee table and then clearly into Lance's waiting mouth. 72, Lance says. I know, but I'm trying to concentrate, they say, tossing the piece to Keith. He has to turn his head and quickly try to catch it, but he misses. It bounces off his nose onto the floor. He glares at it before picking it up to eat it begrudgingly. Lance giggles, finding his bottom lip to try to stifle the sound. He turns his head to the side to glare at him. Doesn't look like it's working, Hunk says thoughtfully, getting a piece of popcorn and stuff. Yeah. What's your number, Keith? Lance asked, grin wide enough to crinkle his eyes. Keith has to look away, heat rising up his neck. 57, he grumbles. You guys suck at this. Then why are you so good at it? Keith asked, crossing his arms over his chest. Lance with his hands behind his head, crossing his legs at the ankles where they resting propped up on the coffee table next to Keith. He shrugs. Natural talent. Keith starts additionally. And then she goes, don't be jealous of the dynamic duo. Atop Hunk, then lifts a foot. Hunk touches further on the couch and lifts a foot to press it to Lance. I blame Keith. Peach mumbles, reaching for their phone as they eat a few pieces from the bowl in their lap. The third Shrek movie has just started and is playing on the TV, but none of them are paying any attention anymore. He's not even sure how they got onto this position, but he's certain it had something to do with Lance's competitive streak and its inability to turn down a challenge. Next thing he knows, they're lying side by side on the floor while Pitch and Hunk throw popcorn across the room at them. He can't complain too much though. After their short talk in the kitchen, things between them has been a lot better. Then awkward tensions all but dissipated, gone like it had never been there to begin with. It's a new kind of tension, a much more subtle one that shows itself in silence than just all small smiles, playful teasing. He doesn't know what it is, but it's not that bad, so he'll take it. They spent most of the second movie sitting next to each other on the couch, playfully kicking each other before Pidge got tired of it and sat on both their legs. They both then proceed to poke at Pidge instead. Who is it? Hunk asked, curiously, leaning over to the room over Pidge, eyes on the phone. Yeah, who's blowing up your digits, little pigeon? Lance asked and spun on the floor. Pigeon missed a short, amused sound. It's just Matt. He's complaining that Cheryl is doing the thing again. Hunk raised both brows. What thing? Keith snorts. He's playing his first date with Laura kid, isn't he? Yup. Aw, that's so cute. Hunk coos. It would be cute if he actually got the nerve to ask her, Keith added. Instead of telling Matt all about it, who then tells me about it, which I can tell Keith about it, Bitch continues. And now you guys, I guess. I think he planned like 12 first dates at this point. Whoa. Lance pushed himself up on his eyebrows, looking in between. Shiro plans first dates with Allura? A small smile was creeping over his lips. He shrugs with one shoulder. If you can call it that. More like he hypothetically plans dates and talks to Matt about it. But we all know he's doing it with Laura in mind. Bitch adds. He gets so into it that he doesn't notice when Matt puts on his headphones and zones out. And his boy's feet off the table, crossing his legs up as he sits up. Oh man, this is great, he laughs, grinning wide. Laura does the same thing. They all stare at him, but it's Hunk who speaks. How do you know that? Hunk shrugs, grin turning mischievous. She tells me about it sometimes. When she doesn't, she's telling Corinne about it. And he does the same thing with me that Matt is doing with Pidge. Bro. Hunk almost looks hurt. You never told me that. Then gives him an apologetic look. Sorry, buddy. But you told me in confidence. It's bro code, he does. Didn't you stop you from telling us now? Lance gives him a small half scowl, half pout, and shoves him. He just chuckles under his breath and they exchange small smiles. Anyway, Lance says, clapping his ear. Point is, those two are completely hopeless and have been for years. They were planning dates that they refused to ask the other out on. As Hunk scratches his chin thoughtfully. I can't tell if that's cute and endearing or just sad. It's just plain sad, Midge offers. Seconded, Keith adds. I have an idea. Lance announces, and they all turn to look at him. He's grinning. It takes someone to make eye contact with all of them. He does it like he's trying to build suspense, but Keith already has an idea of where he's going with this. We should set them up on their first date. Yup, there it is. They're all inside for a moment, and then Hunk breaks it. How are we going to do that? Let's ready with it. We get Matt and Corinne and bring them to the same place at the same time, where we set up the best and most awesome and most memorable first date ever. Lance, Keith starts, but Pitch cuts him off. No, wait. This might just work. They all turn to stare at Pitch, even Lance is surprised. Really? Yes. Then shakes his head, crosses his arms over his chest. I mean, Yeah, of course it will. I'm a genius. Yeah, really. Bitch continues, tapping the chin on the phone. Think about it. We're all tired of them dancing around each other, pun intended. Dad, if I honk, hey! They're basically dating anyway, but both of them refuse to just do it. So why don't we just give them the shove they need? Honk, stop it. It could be pretty fun. He shrugs, pulling his feet from the table to sit up. He knows at this point he's going to pull it to regardless. So might as well jump on board. Besides, he started watching his brother pine usually when the girl he loves so obviously head over heels for him. It's just embarrassing at this point. He runs his fingers through his hair. Okay. Okay. But what date do we do? Lance got his hand on her shoulder. Just leave that to me. Mom, Mom, it's no edit. I can't edit this.
Now can you check the notification?
Okay, hold on a second. Oh, my God, this is awkward. Alright, this is gonna be a Lance talking. So far, there's gonna be a lot of things about talking right here, and there's like, I know there's gonna be a lot of talking about things there, but anyways, kind of like it though, but the way that they're gonna have to set up the date, and they have that idea of getting the date for it, so they just wanted to make sure that there are lots of things in here. So yeah, all right. Keith starts pulling his feet down from the table to sit up. He knows at this point he's going to pull it to regardless. So might as well jump aboard. Besides, he started watching his brother pine usually with a girl he loves so obviously head over heels for him. It's just embarrassing at this point. He runs some fingers through his hair. Okay, but what date do we do? Lance claps his hand on his shoulder. Just leave that to me. I'm great with plans. Part of it wants to challenge that claim. Deciding that always wanted to change. The bulk of Lance, but also genuinely excited, eyes sparkling. So Keith just shrugs. Alright, his smile dents a fraction. What? That's it? Keith shrugs again. Lips quirking into a small smile. Yeah, I don't have any ideas. So, they share a small genuine smiles. This thing has got to be over the top, Hitch cuts in. Nothing says over the top like Lance. I'm in. Lance tears his eyes when Keith declared Pitch. I'm going to take that as a compliment. In this case, it was one. I'm in too. I says, this is going to be great. They all look to Keith. I'm in. Yes, Lance shouts, throwing the fist into the air. Operation Parent Trap is a go. I says, ooh, nice name, buddy. Lance rubs his nails on his shirt, smiling smugly. Thanks, buddy. He pushes himself to his feet, stretching his arms over his head until it back pops. Don't worry, I won't let you guys down. I'm going to plan the most too-roomy sweet first date ever. I believe in your ability to make this gross, Pitch says. He's already walking down the hallway toward the bathroom, but he turns to walk backwards so he can shoot finger gun to Pitch. While he's gone, do you think we can catch up in points? Pitch asks as soon as they can hear the bathroom door close. He looks up to see them positioned with a piece of popcorn held in their fingers, ready to throw. He shrugs, leaning back on his hands and opening his mouth. I'm pretty sure that's cheating, Hunter says. Pitch throws away and Keith catches it. Lance will do the same thing, they say. Hunt comes. Thoughtfully he nods. Good point. He leans back. Carry on. They get two more throws in before they suddenly allow a scream come from across the floor. Double jump, and Keith whips around just in time to see the bathroom door being thrown open, Lance hurling himself through it. Honk! He shouts, scrambling fast enough that he nearly trips and runs on all fours for a second before gaining his feet again. His eyes widening that Keith can only describe as pure panic. Lance, what? Honk! And reaches this couch and scrambles an arm bit, practically throwing himself across the cushions. Honk! Bathroom! Spider! Juan! Honk! Get Juan! Keith watches in complete bewilderment as Honk decides pushing himself to his feet and walking across the living room. With all the calmness in the world, he heads outside toward the front door, and Keith turns back the other two. Then it's like he's simultaneously trying to crawl into Pitch's lap and curl toward them, around them. Pitch is desperately trying to shove him off. Lance, get off! Hank comes back and pauses to the living room. Keith looks at him, both eyebrows raised. Juan? Look, Hank nods solemnly and lifts his shoe. Juan. And then he heads down the hallway toward the bathroom. Be careful, Hank. It's huge. Lance, where is it? Lance calls to the bathroom. On the wall between the toilet and shower. Right at the face level. It's almost jumped on my face, Hank. Lance. It's not that big. Kill it, Hank. Murdered with Juan. There's a loud sigh, followed by a muffled thump. Hank comes back out, pausing as he enters the living room and smiling as he holds up his shoe. Got it. Hank, Juan, my hero. Lance leads up from where the half-crushing pitch into a difference, spread across the couch, leaning towards Hank. Hank must be used to this because he catches Lance without a second thought.
Wait.
I can't stop that's funny though, but it's so good. Come on, I can't edit this. This is fine. Kid looks toward Pitch is pushing hair out of her face. What just happened? Pitch hops, sending a mild glare toward Lance. He's terrified of spiders and always makes Hank kill them. He nicknamed Hank Left Shoe Juan Shoe, the savior. He sees a bug in the apartment. He calls for Juan. Keith raises an eyebrow. Specifically, the left one? They nod. Specifically, the left one. Keith looks back to where Hank is holding Lance up, an amused look on his face. Lance sings praises to him and Juan. Without even thinking about it, he lets his face relax. Let's pick in the corners in amusement as a strange, warm feeling starts up in his chest. It's so dramatic and ridiculous, but so amusing and so endearing and so incredibly Lance. When Lance catches him watching, he rolls out Hank's gasp, grabs his shoe, and crawls across the floor to make introductions. The entire time he goes about his over-the-top speech about the incredible Juan and the many times he's been saved. He can't look away from his face, so animated and expressive. Every time Keith laughs, Lance's enthusiasm is spurred on. He notices that his cheeks vaguely ache from spine. It's a strange feeling. He's cute. The thought of constant unbending into him, fluttering echo in his chest, followed quickly by a sinking sensation in his stomach, and the mildly horrified. Oh no. Okay, this is so really funny. Oh my god. Oh, Lance. You're really scared of spiders, aren't you? Oh my god. I think he calls him such a big baby. That's what he calls it. And he quietly calls up.
Done?
Just deleted it. Yeah, it's all done. Ready to go. Right. Okay. Remember, I'm still have to go against myself. Well, mostly I get the editing and I not swear and not mention any songs lyrics because there's none of it. And there's a little bit of problem about the sarcasm because I had to fix it up. I'm trying to be like as much about so because I don't want to be sarcastic. I just want to be like open up to the mind. But sarcastic is my resistance. I have to resist that little sarcasm in me. So I don't want to do this little sarcasm in me. But let's just get into it. All right, now, oh my goodness. Let's get to this last part here, and then we're done. All right, let's get to it. Let's do this. By 7 o'clock on Friday night, Lance and Keith are both waiting outside Dan's studio back door. Matt pulls up with Cheryl first. After he parks, he guides his blindfolded roommate out of the car and across the parking lot. Special delivery, he calls up. One hand met Cheryl's arm. Cheryl frowns. Matt, where are you? Thanks, Matt. Lance? Matt's eyebrows shoot upward from deeply. He sees Cheryl stiffening. His steps falter, but Matt tightens forward. What's going on? What's going on? And that's I told you not to worry about it, Matt says. And that's exactly why I'm worrying about it. Just shut up and trust us, Keith says, sounding desperate already. Keith? They come to a stop in front of them, and Cheryl turns his head like he's trying to look between them. His brows furrow. Now, I'm definitely worried. Ha ha! Keith deafens. Thanks, Matt. We'll take it from here. No problem, Matt says, letting go of Cheryl's arm and stepping away. He shoves his hands in his pockets and rolls back in his heels. Smiling and lopsided grin that reminds him entirely of Pitch. I expect him home before 10. No promises, Lance says with a wink. Both Keith and Shiro groan, which earns laughter from Lance and Matt. The latter takes a careful step backwards and waits. Later, guys. Good luck. Tell Pitch to send me Bayo. Will do, Lance calls. Pitch is here too? Bayo of what? Keith shrugs, taking Shiro's arm, pulling him toward the door. Don't worry about it. Can I take this blindfold off now? Nope, Keith says, popping the peace sound. As he walks through the door, he glances over his shoulder at Lance, who gives him a smile and thumbs up. Keith's returning smile is small, but entirely too endearing for his own good, or for Lance's own good. He turns away and lets his eyes sweep across the parking lot. Corinne arrives not too long after. He pulls right up to the door and doesn't even bother turning the car before he's out the door and lopping around to the other side. Hey, Corinne, Lance greets. The other man grins, giving him a once over. Lance, my boy, you look possibly dashing. Lance smirks, holding an extended thumb and forefinger to his chin. Like always, Corinne opens the passenger side door and holds her hand for Laura as she slips out of the car. Corinne, where are we? They're here. Corinne, where are we? But out here. Evening, Princess. Lance? The one and only. Eyebrows furrow. What's going on? Do you trust me? Corinne asks. I'm stopping soon. You know I do. Then trust me when I say. He guides her forward and places her hand in Lance's. That they will make good take care of you. Her face scrunches up, but he resigns herself reluctant. Alright. Good luck, Corinne is giving around to the driver's side of his car. Do tell Pitt to send me video, won't you? Will do. Thanks, Corinne. Video? Don't worry about it, Princess, he says smoothly, taking her hand gently and guiding her through the door. It clicks softly shut behind him. I do. You wish you could stop calling me that. No can do. Tonight, you are a princess. Lance, where's this going? She asks squarely, practically trying her feet and subtly tugging against Lance's hole in their own apprehension. You'll see. He sings songs, pulling her into the elevator and pressing the button to the second floor. When it digs open, he pulls her along down the hall. Are we at the studio? He pauses amidst it, glancing at her cautiously. How can you tell? A smile on Ferris's lips. It felt like that's the way Corinne was going. Plus, we had that pothole on the way to the back parking lot that we've been meaning to fix. Not to mention, I've known that layout of this place since I was a child. And it smells the same too. Lance laughs, continuing to walk her along. That's some impressive detective work. Now, can you guess why you're here? I haven't a clue, she says in honest bafflement. He grins. Good. He looks forward to the surprise. When he reaches room 2A, he opens the door and guides her in. He and Ship are right there. He with one hand on Ship's arm and Ship positioned on the far side of the small table, next to one of the chairs. At the sound of the door, head shifts. Who's that? Shiro? Aurora? Lance, what's going on? He doesn't say anything as he sets her up across the table with Shiro. He exchanges a look with Keith before they both reaching to pull off the blindfolds. They both step back, standing side by side as they wait for the two of them to make in their surroundings. He's not disappointed. The first thing they see is each other, eyes locked for a long moment, before they take in what the other is wearing. Corinne and Matt had told them to dress nicely, but hadn't told them where they were going. As their great gazes roam down the other, they see the table between them. A simple, round, two-person table dressed up with a dark red tablecloth. There's two sets of plates and silverware and a small vase at the center of the single rows. Next to it is a bucket of ice with a bottle of wine. From there, their graces drip around the room. The room itself is a masterpiece. It's their unusual practice room, but with some serious elbow grease to squirt it out. That's really gross. The walls have tapestries with rich fabric and dark colors hung up around them to block out the windows and walls. The edges of the room has candles everywhere, some clustered and some scattered, all lit to create a soft, warm glow along the edges. Various vases of roses are positioned with candle shoots. Various vases of roses are positioned with candle clusters, as well as rose petals scattered about. The whole mood is brought together by lighting. Well, your pitch has replaced some of the lights called light bulbs, turning them down in power and positioning them so the whole room is cast in purples and pinks. And the piece of the resistance is the wall lamp mirror, reflecting the whole scene back to him. He worked hard to create a romantic, cozy, and intimate atmosphere out of the place where they spent most time together. Yeah, it cost them quite a pretty penny to get everything, but Crane covered half the expenses on his own, and they split their remaining costs. It was worth it for Sharon and Laura. Lance watched them, unable to hide his wide grin. The boat looked like a mournful mix of shock and awe. The lightning combination of the colored light from above and the soft candlelight from the elbow reflects off their eyes. They're seeing the sparkle, but not really as much as Shiro's when he looks at her. He sees the moment they finish observing their surroundings, and the whole implication of them really starts to set in. He sees a slight wandering of their eyes, the way Shira's lips purrs in his. I'm trying to hide a blush face, the way Allura's jaw drops as she gasps, and her hands go to her chest, the way both their complexions seem to get darker, despite the already dim lighting. They stare at each other, and slowly it takes Lance a moment to see it. They smile, their expressions soften, and their entire bodies relax, for the first time since they arrived. The moment is suddenly weirdly private and intensely intimate, and Lance finds he has to look away. He makes the mistake of looking at Keith. They're both dressed to nines. Curran had taken them out to get matching outfits for the occasion. Tightly fitted black slacks, shoes to match, and black vests with matching colored button-ups underneath. Lance's deep blue and Keith's dark red. They will have their shirts rolled up to the elbows, and it shows off Keith's forearms nicely. At Lance's insistence, they both slick their hair back. He just wanted to go all out with the whole fancy theme they're having on. He knew he looked good, but he wasn't expecting the way his heart went into overdrive when he came out of the bathroom with his hair slicked back and out of his face, or for how endearing it was when he shuffled his way from foot to foot and looked up at Lance through lashes to ask if he looked alright in a low mumble. Looking at Keith now, Lance sees the flaws in his plan. He knows he looks good. He can feel it. He sees in the mirror. He pulls off the look fantastically. He had expected it as much. What he hadn't expected was how good Keith would look. If he looks good, Keith looks phenomenal. Looking at him now, seeing the line play off his pale complexion, seeing the way the clothes fit him in all the right places, seeing the soft, amused smile on his lips to watch his brother, seeing the way he stands, relaxes his arms, crossed closely over his chest. He takes his breath away, and then keeps turning back to look at him. And Lance is captured by those dark eyes. He can feel his excited grin is still fixed in place. Keith's smile widens just a fraction in response, and then he winks, and Lance feels his heart stutter in his chest. He doesn't have time to dwell on it, however, because Chiro and Laura have turned to them, taking their outfits for the first time. Guys, Chiro says, stepping the inspector. What's going on? He asks, but his words are slow and cautious. Clearing his throat, Lance drops a grateful and reconciled. Welcome to Altaine's kitchen. Keith and I will be your waiters this evening. Hunk has already prepared a lovely meal for you both, which will be served shortly. He straightens and slowly steps behind Allura, pulling out her chair and gesturing to it. We'll invite you to sit, and we hope you enjoy your evening. Allura stares at him, blinking. Then to the chair, then the sheriff. He shrugs and sits. With a hand on the back of her chair, Lance looks at Keith. He hasn't moved. Lance puts the fist to his mouth and clears his throat loudly. Keith raises an eyebrow and Lance looks pointedly to Cheryl's seat. Keith follows his gaze and stares, and then heaves a heavy sigh. Shoulders slump in the feet as he goes to pull the chair out for his brother. Once they're both sitting, Keith works on pouring a bottle of wine. When he does, Vesta Lance pours for them both. So, Cheryl rubs the back of his neck. What's the occasion? Laura mumbles. a soft thanks to Lance and takes her class, lifting her to the sit. You're on your first date, Keith says bluntly, lips curl into a small spark as Laura chokes on her wine. She gazes at him, scar being thrown to start really against the blush. We'll leave you two alone now, Lance says, grabbing a hold of Keith's wrist and taking him away from the table. We'll be back shortly with the appetizers, he calls her behind him as he shuts the door. They're halfway to the stairs when Lance realizes he's still holding Keith's arm and lets go. He covers up his embarrassment by bringing Keith downstairs. The rest of the day goes smooth. Hunk had prepared the food at their apartment and brought it over, but Cheryl and Laura showed up. He set up shop in the stairs of miniature, half kitchen breakroom. They finished off the dishes as best they could. Pitch, being a little tech gremlin they are, set up a double camera in the room so they can keep an eye on the date, as well as hook the sound system to their own portable remote. As soon as Keith and Lance left, they started to play soft music to further set the mood. They bring up the appetizers, followed by the main course and later dessert. They keep an eye on the two to can feed to see when they need it. But other than that, they leave the two alone. The awkward tension dissolves somewhere after the appetizer, and it's not long before the two of them are leaning across the table, smiling, and absorbed in conversation. As it turns out, there were a lot more downtime than they were anticipating. With the food already prepared, they spent a lot of time simply waiting for Cheryl and Laura to be ready for the next course. After some rummaging, Hal manages to find a few decks of cards, and the four of them sit on the break room table to play several rounds of tick. They pause whenever Pitch decides it's time for the next course, and Keith and Lance had to hurry upstairs. When they'd been done with dessert for long enough that they both started to look fidgety, Lance declares that it's time to face two for the day. He and Keith head upstairs and push into the room. With a flourish, they pull Cheryl and Laura to their feet and grab the chair under one arm and use their free hands to carry the table between them as they shuffle toward the door. It goes so quick that Cheryl and Laura are left standing there, staring at them. They both manage a few half-formed questions, but Lance just shoots them a wide smile before closing the door. He and Keith leave the table and chairs on the hall before springing back down to the break room. Did we miss it? Lance asked, bursting into the room. Nope, we were just about to start, Pitch says, pulling their laptop onto their lap where they cross at the table. Lance hurries to the room and Keith right behind him. Hunk sits on the table behind Pitch, leaning over to him to watch the camera feed. Lance propped his butt up on the table next to Pitch, one foot dangling in the air resting on one of the chairs as he leans in. Keith crosses his arms over his chest, leaning against the table on Pitch's other side to watch the screen. It shows Shiro and Laura standing around awkwardly in the middle of the open dance room. Surrounded by the soft atmosphere, Lance is so painstakingly crafted. Shiro rubs the back of his neck, and Laura immediately rubs one arm, but they're standing close and they're both smiling. Then Pitch cuts off the music that's been playing and turns on the song to keep the picked out. He assured them that it was the first dance the two of them had choreographed and performed together. Lance watches and building some of the two of them recognize the song. Eyes flush, either finding each other. Smiles plays his bright expression. Then Laura holds her hand and she takes it. Watching them dance has always been breathtaking, but it is on a whole different level. Here, they're not dancing for a crowd. They're dancing for each other. Their steps and movements are memorized, but there is a loose and languid quality about them that speaks of easy comfort. Then they're not dancing to be perfect. They're dancing to be together, and it shows. That combined with the whole atmosphere of the room makes Lance's chest feel full and heavy with emotion. Mostly happiness for his friends. None of them talk as they all watch with rapt attention. Lance is sure the others are holding their breath too. Lance spares a glance at the others. Hunk looks like he's about to cry. Pitch's expression is soft and adorable, and Keith is smiling this small, genuine smile, and his eyes are so dark and he just looks so happy. Lance looks back to the screen, ignoring the increase in his heart rate, and then is pretty simple from Cheryl's side. He's mostly just there to guide and support Laura as he does all the beautiful and complicated moves. But there's a history there, as their first choreographed dance is one they did the intention of getting Cheryl used to dancing. One they did with the intention of learning how to work with his prosthetic, and one they did while they're building trust and getting to know each other as partners. As the song continues to the end, he leans toward Pitch, nudging with them at his shoulder. Did you set up the thing I asked you to? He moans. There's no need to whisper, but the air in the room feels too heavy not to. Even then, his voice is almost startling in the silence. Paige nods a small smile, trying to something more serious. Yup. On screen, Cheryl and Laura are standing close, his hands resting loosely on her waist. They gazing at each other and have been for a solid they're gazing at each other have been for a solid several seconds. Do it! Bitch hits a button on the music player and suddenly kiss. Come on in. Bitch hits a button on the music player and suddenly the most popular song in 2008 there. Ending the first song. He's blasting loudly from the chorus. No, suddenly that was like it from the movie. From the movie The Little Mermaid is blasting loudly from the chorus. There you go. Both of them jump, heads whipping to look around the room, faces on guard in their surprise. Nancy and Shira stunned, and his face falls into a modification. His jaw gone slack. Allura, on the other hand, throws back her hand and laughs. Before Shira can say anything, she grabs him and dips him. They see his eyes widen in surprise, before his face is out of sight, and Allura is kissing him. They all cheer loudly. Paige lands up really slip and all in their excitement. Yes! Lidge throws a fist in the air. Finally! Bitch throws hands up in the air as they shout. About dang time, Keith says. Go, Laura! Oh my god, guys, that was beautiful, Hunk is saying. Hands on Paige's shoulder, he shakes them back and forth. I can't believe that happened. Nice touch with the song, Keith, it says, lightly punching him in the arm. His smile curls a little. It was payback. And then on screen, Allura was standing sheer up again. Nell had a clear view of his awestruck face. Complexion dark with a flush. He looks absolutely stunned, and they all laugh. And for what feels like a thousandth time that night, Lance makes the mistake of looking at Keith. He's laughing so hard that his eyes are crinkling. Bent in at the waist as it bubbles out of him. Lance has heard his laugh plenty of times before, but that doesn't stop it from making his heart jump into his throat. Then Keith is looking at him. The green and wide eyes and sparkling teeth wipes away a tear. His pale cheeks are flushed, and with his hair in slicked back, Lance can see the entirety of his face, beautiful and smart. He's cute, the thought. The innocent is so genuine and comes in bidding. The innocent across his mind and his stomach flutters. Falls shortly after by clenching in his chest in a sense of dread. Oh no. Oh my god. That is the end of chapter 9. Oh my god. No, like this thing though. That girl though. Trying to ruin my thing. Well, it doesn't matter, it's over. Oh my god. Ah. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying not to be sarcastic because I'm not sarcastic. Oh, this is really oh, the pain, the pain. Oh, really, it's the pain right there for doing this challenge. It's a challenge, Mom, it's a challenge. Didn't you know that? It's go against yourself. I try not to be sarcastic. And I don't want to be sarcastic, okay? I'm just trying not to do this for the video. It's a challenge, everybody. It's a challenge. It's just keep the challenge, okay? Come on. I just don't want to talk anybody over my head. It's just being crazy. Great, being a psycho. I'm not sarcastic, babe. Just not being sarcastic. Just want to be like fully attention. Just want to have to make a full attention to everybody over there. I'm sorry, trying to be a little more sarcastic, but I'm trying not to. I'm gonna have to be trying not to be as sarcastic as possible because it's really hard. It is so hard. Trying not to do it, but there are some little bit of mentioning the song, but not the. I'm not gonna mention that now because it's a part of a go against yourself. Okay, guys, that is the end of it. Hope you really enjoyed this thing in the way that I want to do this one on editing style. Hope it really works out, but I don't know. This is really nervous right here. I'm nervous and it's so much work. It's a lot of work for me to just end this challenge for you. even if I can't edit this one ever, for real. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. I'm just gonna do whatever you want to. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We're gonna see you on the next chapter, just to be more emphasizing on this one. And let's not gonna do that again. Hope we're never gonna see this again in our video. And yeah. Oh my god, I'm being sarcastic. Dang it. Alright. Bye everybody. I'm out of here.